Suppose you were to meet someone in Paris. You know the day and the time, but not the place. Where would you go? Today's video is about something called prominence and how it might apply to real estate and negotiations in general. I've been reading this book lately called Bargaining Games by Keith Murnigan, and I got it for free, but I found one recently on Amazon used for around $5. So really a steal. It has many unexpected gems, and I'm going to share just one of them with you today, and that of course is called Prominence. Let's go back to the riddle I posed at the beginning, which is straight out of this book. You are supposed to meet someone in Paris. You know the day and the time, but not the place. Where would you go? Now, the answer is not surprising. Most people in Canada would say the Eiffel Tower. The answer is actually quite simple. It's because the Eiffel Tower is prominent. It stands out. It's obvious. It's familiar. Prominent choices are often the first alternative we encounter. This can be applied to things like numbers, round numbers, which are prominent just like the Eiffel Tower because they're obvious to everyone. Let's go to another example that's going to be more applicable. Suppose Sandy is in the market for a used car. She's been looking around for some time and has found just the car she would like to buy. It's the right color, it has the right options. It will suit her needs just fine. When she inquires about the price, the sellers say that it's $10,650. What will the final price of the car be exactly? You might have already guessed, but the most common answer that people give is $10,000 right on. Why? Because it's a nice round number and it's prominent. We know nothing about Sandy or the used car market she is in, but what we do know is that she probably won't pay more than the price, and you might expect the sellers to come down from their starting price, even if just a little. In the end, you'll figure that they will settle somewhere between Sandy's initial offering and the seller's asking price. Most people say the final price will be $10,000. They claim that Sandy's first offer should be $10,000 and that she shouldn't move from that. If that would be the final price, that would make sense, but we know because of negotiation that isn't often the case. The first offer isn't usually the final price. It's not a take it or leave it kind of game, and it's the same in real estate. If you want the final price to be $10,000, the offer from Sandy actually needs to be slightly lower than $10,000. There's something called reciprocating concessions. It's like, if I give something, will you give something back to me? The seller is likely to pivot around that prominent point. This bargaining process exactly fits the plan of a smart, intuitive car seller. By setting the starting price at $10,650, she helped influence the buyer to start with a prominent offer of $10,000. After that, she can be sure of getting at least $10,000 for the car, and maybe more. I think the point here is clear. Set the price just above a prominent point. That means when negotiations happen and you're able to concede that difference to get down to the prominent price, you've given up something that you planned on giving up in the first place. Sellers should set the starting price just above an obviously prominent point. By doing so, they can implicitly encourage buyers to start their bidding at the prominent point and ensure a good final price. People are almost always compelled towards prominent solutions, and as a result, they may not even think of other possibilities. Now, in the example of Sandy, it's a little counterintuitive. Obviously, that would be a buyer's market. It doesn't always make sense to do this due to prominence. If you're expecting to get many offers and they'll be above the asking price, maybe it makes sense to put it below the prominent level so that all offers will come in a little bit higher. Most competent realtors are going to know they might get a little bit of leeway in the listing price, so they're going to be looking slightly higher than that prominent value, especially in a seller's market where you have all the power. Set it above the prominent value, not below. If you set too close to a prominent value, then it seems like the negotiation is already over because the price is going to be very close to that. If you set the price right at $300,000, it's likely that the closing will end up being very close to that. I would say a much more beneficial strategy would be to set it just above the $300,000 mark. So if offers come in a little bit low, it's much more likely that they'll end up near the $300,000 mark rather than below it if we had originally set the price at $300,000. What I've told many people is that the listing price is really a marketing tool. If we originally set it at $300,000 and they still think that's not a good deal, it's not really based on the number, it's based on a feeling. So if they want a better deal, it's going to be below that listing price. So why not set it slightly above that prominent value, and then if negotiations do happen, it will end up at the price that you're okay with. Hopefully this made sense and you got some value. Again, I'm Zach from Home Life Green Team. Before you head out, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.